Bliss loves. Welcome, Bliss. Hello. Bliss to all of you. Welcome to another weekly reading. Rissa, aka Readings by Rissa. So excited to connect with you as always. Today is another Sunday, and I am so excited to be here with all of you to go over all of the spirit messages of this week, all of the astrological influences of this week, and we'll even do a card pull for the week as well. And there's a lot of energy to talk about, so I can't wait to get into it. We also have a lot of stuff going on at the end of this week that we'll cover a little bit in this week's reading, and then we'll cover even more in depth next Sunday. So as you all join in, just go ahead and comment where you're joining from, how you're doing this week, what's been going on in your world. Let's settle into this web of light community that we've created over the past couple of years on this YouTube channel every single week. And if you're new to this channel or to these readings, welcome and thank you for joining. Again, my name is Rissa Vibes, and I am a professional intuitive and intuitive coach, which means that I help intuitively curious people tap into their gifts, their luminary gifts, their ability to see and hear and feel energy. And then I also teach them how to navigate their enlightenment path. So I'm super excited to be here for you every single week, just to create community and space to also guide you as a collective. So I am super excited to start, but I first want to do a little review of last week, because I like to know, where we are coming off from, and as we prepare for this new week coming up. So last week's cards, the first beginning of the week card that we pulled was focus. And so last week we were encouraged by Spirit to focus in on whatever it is that we're trying to create, what we're trying to move through, process, heal from, or kind of achieve in our life. And that focus was so important because as we moved into the middle of the week, we pulled the light card and we started to focus more into our light body. We started to focus more into our light work, our light mission, and our ability to vibrate at the resonance of love and light in order to be a vortex for that energy in the world. And then at the end of the week, we pulled the seer card, encouraging us to really observe and tap into our intuitive insight and our ability to see things more clearly and to really see things from a bigger picture perspective as well. And so we're still in that energy, as that was the weekend card for last week. So as we move into this new week, I'm super excited to start off with the spirit messages that I've gotten for this week. These are going to be all the messages that I received from Spirit in meditation and other readings, in my channel and chill last night, my meditations that I do throughout the week for the community as well, and several other downloads that I get throughout the week. So before I get into that, I just want to check in with everybody and see how you're doing. All right, so let's see. We've got Simple Goddess here. So good to see you. Oh my gosh, yes, back into love in 5D. Love that. Gaten's here as well from Mojave Valley. Natalie is here from Northern Colorado. Jasmine's here as well from New York. Yes, feeling palm sensitive to touching things. Yeah, so sensitivity in the hands. Yeah, I can definitely talk about that today. And the Celestial Heart is here as well. Oh my gosh, good to see all of you. It's so great to connect. And yeah, with the hand sensitivity, Jasmine, what you're probably feeling is you're probably feeling more of your physical intuition kicking up, where you're becoming more sensitive to energy in a physical way. So your hands, we do have chakras in our palms. So if your hand chakras are really active right now and sensitive, it might be very sensitive to the touch, and you might feel just an added energy there that kind of creates that sensitivity. So that's very normal, especially when we're tapping into our light body, like we pulled the light card last week, and we're activating in a lot of cosmic ways from our starseed connections, and also just from the astrological influences that we've been undergoing for some time throughout this whole year. A lot of light upgrades, a lot of cosmic upgrades. And when that happens, our bodies do react. We have physiological effects from that energy. And so when you start to kind of waken those sensitivities in the body that can kind of be a little bit vulnerable at first until you start to adapt to it. So I do feel like that will be temporary for you. It's the same kind of thing when we're having certain light upgrades from moons or eclipses, like we'll talk about later in this reading, because we do have an eclipse coming up, a solar eclipse. And so when we have those light upgrades, sometimes we can feel, even our sleep cycles change, our, digestive system kind of change or get more sensitive. We can feel our moods shift and become more sensitive. So it's a very similar thing. You're just feeling it more physically. And that's okay. So yeah, wearing gloves, protecting your hands, helping yourself just kind of feel into that sensitivity and honor it and listen to it. So if that means, not touching a lot of things, then honor that. If that means, using the energy or playing with the energy that you're feeling in your hand, do that, because that's chi that you can play with. So really use your intuition to feel into that. Okay. Kayla's here as well. Good to see you, Kayla. Ambi Lee is here as well from Foothills. Foxy Mama's here as well from Oregon. Good to see you. Thank you, Linda, for the super chat donation, 1111. So synchronistic. And I know you're joining from the Pacific Northwest, which is so great. Love it. Oh my gosh. Yes. Solar eclipse in Cancer, Linda. It's going to be great. Oh, Nikki's here as well. So good to see you, love. And Sandra's here as well. Wonderful. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the spirit messages of this week. This is the week that we are tapping into, June 14th to June 21st. Okay. This is going to be such a really powerful energy that we're going to talk about. And the first spirit message that I received for this weekly reading is that we are starting to move more into unity consciousness this week. Yay! This is such good news, I think, from the last couple of weeks and readings, because we've been kind of going through it, and I think we're still going to go through it. This is something that this isn't going to change. This idea of going back to the way things were is far gone now. We're in a new energy and a new vibration, and we're creating a new earth, right? And so we're in that transitionary period. We're in that awkward stage where we're really having to see things that we've got to mature on as a mass collective, that we've got to do better on as a mass collective, that we've got to really look at and face and be aware of as a mass collective. And it's uncomfortable, and it doesn't feel good to have to look at it, and it doesn't feel good to feel helpless to how far it's gone, but we are also in this awkward stage as we look at that, where we're kind of in this adolescent phase where we're really having to mature, take responsibility, and change the way that we've been doing things, and really step into a more responsible role. And we also will be making mistakes along that, because as the adolescent phase of our growth is always awkward and a little bit, we make mistakes. We don't know everything. And sometimes we think we know more than we do know. And we end up, making mistakes or learning from experience, or learning the hard way. And so I really feel like as a collective in the world, we're going through that as a consciousness, as we evolve in our consciousness. And so with that being said, a big message that I got for this week is that we are going to start moving more into unity consciousness, and it'll be in subtle ways. We're going to see it in very subtle ways, where we're going to start to see people slowly starting to come together more than how they've been being pulled apart, or how they've been less magnetic. So we're going to just start to see that magnetism between people a little bit more clearly, which is really powerful. And with that, there's this understanding as well that we are in a Kali Yuga. This is a dark period of consciousness where humanity's consciousness is kind of suppressed, dulled, not fully ascended. It's a descension cycle, if you will. But realistically, we're in that Kali Yuga phase, but we're at the end of it. So you can look this up as well. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the yugas, but you can look up YUGA, the yugas, and we are in a Kali Yuga. I believe it's about 15,000 to 17,000 years for each phase. And a Kali Yuga is all about the kind of submerged consciousness of humanity, where it's not fully ascended, it's not fully awakened. But since we're at the end of that Kali Yuga, we are approaching this golden age, also known as the age of Aquarius at this particular time. And we're really elevating our consciousness, and we're starting to see more clearly. We're starting to see through the deception. We're starting to see through the things that haven't been working. We're starting to see how messed up things are that we've continued to allow, right? And so this is the time where change happens. This is the time where we step into the 5D. This is the time when we come together in love and equality and justice for all, and this energy of sharing the same good intentions. And as we do that, that new world, that new earth becomes real. And so that is really what we're going to be doing a lot of this week as a personal contribution to the collective, when we do that in our own personal lives, and then as a collective as we do it all together this week. So it's really going to be amazing. 11:22 there, Linda. I love that. So good. Yeah, so we're feeling that, and it's a really beautiful time to be alive, because imagine, and I was just talking to some friends about this yesterday, like imagine what it was like in, the Great Depression, or even in, the Neolithic era, where, we were kind of cavemen, right? And like just really barbaric and just out for survival all the time. And those were times where we didn't even have the hope for consciousness that we do now, we didn't have even the awareness that we do now as a collective to actually incite change in a really powerful and quantumly productive way. We were taking very small baby steps back then, and we had to really kind of dwell in that sludge of survival and scarcity and fear. But now we're realizing that, yes, we're still in that scarcity, fear, and survival to a big degree, but we have a consciousness now that is really so powerful, and it's powerful enough to shine the light of awareness onto that energy and clear it out finally for the first time in several thousand years, right? So this is a beautiful energy, and we're moving together as a consciousness with it. We'll get more into the Kali energy in just a second, because I did have my first Channel and Chill in person for the first time yesterday in several months since the quarantine, and it was such a great event. And Kali came through with some really powerful messages, so I'll share those in just a second. So yeah, moving into unity consciousness this week. Now the next message is about staying in the present moment, because this is also incredibly important for when we're creating things. So on a personal level, when we're creating a goal, when we're creating a new life for ourselves, when we're creating or attracting a relationship, we want to stay in a place of presence. And we want to really soak up all the energy, all the life force energy that we have in every moment to create with. And so it's easy to get distracted in the past or in the future, trying to imagine what's going to happen next, or try to assume what happened before and try to stay in that. It's easy to get distracted by that, but it really takes away our power to create. Because all of our energy to create, and Eckhart Tolle talks about this in The Power of Now, all of our energy that is available for creation really is available in the present moment. That's where the life force energy is that we get to mold our reality with. So if we're constantly focused on everything outside of the present moment, we're distracting ourselves from the actual vital life force that we want to use and harbor and channel to create with. And so we want to stay in the present moment. We want to honor the present moment. We want to really cherish the energy that we have here. And we want to know that it's different than the past, and it's going to be different than the future, and that there's a lot of value in this present moment if we can choose to work with the energy here in your personal life, in your communities, and in the mass collective. And really it's about observing that energy, identifying what energy is available and what energy can we contribute into that energy to balance it or to make it more productive or to allow it to move forward in a more powerful and successful way, or to tap more into our intuition for more guidance and how to use that energy. So these are the ways that we start to manifest. And when we start to think about this on our own, and then we start to lead by example in our communities or in our families or groups of friends or with coworkers, then we start to create a ripple effect. And eventually the whole world starts to feel this awareness, this energy of present moment consciousness, and they start to create realities. And those realities, when we give love and send love in that present moment, become aligned with that as well. And so it's a really powerful vortex of energy kind of practice. And the more we can step into the present moment, the better. And it was great too, because yesterday I also did the Starseed Saturday meditation that I do every single week on my Facebook group. And it was so beautiful because we had the Orions come back again, and they came back with a beautiful Force of Attraction card. And it encouraged us to really step into this awareness of the forces of attraction in our own bodies and in between everything in this world, the in-between space, the magnetism, okay? There's a magnetism that is happening in our world and on our planet right now that is waking us up and causing that unity consciousness and bringing us together, bringing like-minded people together, bringing like-minded forces and like energy forces together. And as we see that, it really allows for an amplification of our light, because we begin to meet other people with light like that and who have the same passion and purpose and desire and determination to create this new world. And so we're feeling that, and we're going to notice that we're able to attract more into our reality and that we have more attractive force this week. And we're going to also feel this call to action with that force of attraction. We're going to feel this energy of wanting to move with it, wanting to do something with it. And it's going to be really, really beautiful. Now, we also got the dolphin card for the Starseed meditation yesterday. And that was also talking about living in the now, living in the present moment. And dolphins are telepathic, and they are very connected to extraterrestrial life. This water energy and this intuition in the water and this telepathic ability to send signals through the water and through sound and vibration that the dolphins have. And so we start to recognize that there is also a vibration within us that helps us to be telepathic with each other, that helps our thoughts, when we think positive thoughts and consistently positive thoughts, it helps those thoughts start to telepathically connect to other people and helping them think more positively when we're around them. And so there's this beautiful energy of living in the present moment, thinking positively, and standing strong in that attractive force that you have that's going to really be so powerful this week, I think, for all of us in our own personal lives and as a collective. So I cannot wait to see how this transpires. And I even already am seeing it in a really exciting event that I'm putting together for the summer solstice on next Sunday. This is going to be really, really fun. I will tell you a little bit about it right now, but then I'm going to go into more details at the end of this reading. But it's going to be a healing event, an all-day healing event with an amazing group of POC healers, luminaries from all over the world. And we're all going to get together and share our healing gifts. We're also going to have some really conscious conversations about what's going on in the world. We're going to have a roundtable discussion. I'm going to give my weekly reading like usual. We'll have some sound healing. We'll have some prayer and channeling. We'll have some amazing lectures about just energy cleansing and activation of our spirit and understanding the movement we're in and the revolution we're in. And ultimately, we'll be shining light on revolution. That's what this event is all about. And we are in an epic time right now. So this event is really going to help us all step into our power, our voice, and our ability to really align with what we want to create in this world and help us to get clear on that so that we can really continue manifesting it as a collective in a powerful way. And I'm so excited for that. So I can't wait to give you all more details. It's going to be live right here on YouTube on the 21st, next Sunday, all day. There's going to be a schedule, several segments throughout the day. It's going to be super, super fun. So make sure to start telling all of your friends, your family, your coworkers, your soul tribe. Tell them now to go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel, to tap the bell for the notifications so that they can just automatically get that notification when we go live next week for the event. But it's going to be really, really epic. So I want to have as many people receiving this free healing, free activation, and free conscious communication and connection that we're going to provide. So I just can't wait. Anyways, we'll keep going with all of these exciting messages. So the next message for this week, June 14th to June 21st, is all about taking responsibility for the creation. And that's what we're really going to be doing on that event on the summer solstice. And it is going to be so in alignment to the astrological influences and everything going on in the stars on that day as well, because the summer solstice is all about the return of the sun. And it's about really sparking action with consciousness and light awareness and love. And so it's going to be so in alignment with our intention there to take responsibility for the creation that we are manifesting in the world right now. And since June is the month of love, according to the annual reading that I posted in the beginning of 2020, it also makes so much sense that we're going to be really focusing on love, equality, justice, and conversations and healing surrounding that. All right, the next message is all about nature. I don't know about you, but I have been so connected to nature, even more so than I usually am, which is saying a lot because I'm already always in the park and always trying to stay out in nature, hiking and things like that. But lately, there's just this extra call from Mother Earth to connect with her and to go out in the wilderness and watch the nature experience life. Because as we do that, we really learn like the shaman, and we're all embodying shamanistic qualities right now in our own way. And the shaman is the spiritual guide that leads by example, because they're taught by example and they learn from watching the example of creation. They learn from watching the cycles of creation, from observing the cycles of nature, the cycles of life. They learn from listening to the trees and feeling the wind and connecting to the land. And the traditions as well of others who have done the same before them and learning from examples from that. And so we are embodying our shaman-like qualities. And as we do, we're really being called to nature. We're really being called to have that rite of passage with nature, where we maybe go out into the wilderness for a certain period of time, or we, just start to really level up in our comfortability with nature. This is a really powerful time to do that, because we are activating our conscious creative power when we connect to nature in that way, because nature is the conscious creative energy of this world. And so we really want to allow ourselves to feel the life force of nature, absorb the life force of nature, and answer its call when it calls it forth. I'm going camping tonight for the first time ever in my life, and I'm really excited about that. Uh-oh. Nico. Oh.
I was all of it.
I'm back. Whoa. The battery died in the camera, guys. I think we're good. Give me a thumbs up if we're good. All right, I'm going to keep going, but somebody give me a thumbs up. And then my screen froze, Linda. Yeah. Okay, so thumbs up if you guys can see me, hear me. It was just the camera died. Yay. Okay, cool. Back in action. So I'm going camping for the first time tonight, and it's really exciting. And I feel like that's kind of a rites of passage into nature for me, even though I'm really connected to nature. And maybe some of you are being called to start hiking and you've never done it before, or maybe some of you are just called to start sitting more in the sun or out in the park, or just spending more time there. This is really nature kind of calling you to be initiated into more of your conscious creative power. So make sure to answer that call. All right, cool. I'm glad we're all good. Yay. All right, so continuing with these messages, the next part is really accepting the healing and the happiness that nature brings, and also the natural healing and happiness that we experience in our world, even through times that are hard, even through Kali Yugas, where we're in this kind of darker energy or more difficult time as a collective and consciousness. It's okay to heal. It's okay to receive healing. It's okay to let yourself heal. It's okay to seek healing. It's okay to heal. And it's also okay to be happy. It's also okay to receive joy and to give joy and to be in joy. We have to remember that during this time, because it's a natural way in which our life force energy stays stable and keeps itself going, is by naturally invigorating our cells and our consciousness with joy, even if we're going through something difficult. And especially when we're going through something difficult, because it can be a defense mechanism for our spirit to kind of create some kind of fun or joy, or just a feeling of joy, a memory of joy, a sensation of healing, or just to create the healing itself. Because the spirit doesn't want to stay in feelings of helplessness and hopelessness and grief and oppression and suppression of their energy. The spirit doesn't want to do that. So whenever we feel that way, the spirit instantly wants to bounce back, and it does what it can to bounce us back. But if we resist that healing and we resist that happiness because we feel guilty or ashamed or in doubt of if it's okay to be happy or healed during a time where so many people are not, then we really deny ourselves of the purest positive potential of our energy that is actually going to be so much more productive for others when we can let that healing and happiness be expressed through us and lead by example for those others to know that it's okay to do too. So this is a really powerful thing to remember. I know I talked a little bit about this last week, but this is something that we want to keep remembering throughout this whole year, because we will feel a lot of ebbs and flows of happiness and healing, and then some hopelessness and helplessness and distress. And we're going to feel that because we are in, like I talked about last week, we're in a bit of a spiritual war right now, and we're in just the beginning of it. So we want to really get strong in our resiliency. We want to get a tough skin spiritually and physically even too, and mentally, emotionally. And we want to really remember that it's okay to heal and it's okay to be happy, and to let that energy into that. We need to honor the cycle of that. Yes, so glad you went for a long walk, Janelle. Yay! Oh my gosh. Yes. Good. Thank you so much, Kayla, for that. I'm glad that you guys can hear me and see me good. All right, so now moving on to a couple of more messages. I'm going to get into Kali's messages from yesterday at the Channel and Chill as well. I will end up posting that recap of the Channel and Chill audio on YouTube, so that'll be up probably in the next week or so. But the next message I want to talk about is a little bit more about summer solstice. Summer solstice is happening next Sunday on the 21st. That's when I'm hosting that all-day healing event. It's going to be so exciting, shining light on revolution, all-day event. But the actual summer solstice itself, why I feel like it's so significant for this event, and also what's so significant about it, is that it's all about the return of the sun. And it really represents this energy of bringing the sun, bringing the light back into the shadows of winter, into the shadows of darkness, into the darknesses of winter with that season ending. And spring, of course, is that awakening of light that we just went through. But that return of the sun really brings the warmth. It brings the heat. It brings the fire. Okay. And we just went through a cold energy, right? The winter, the fall, the winter, even the spring can be cold in a lot of places. And so that cold energy really represents the energy of the shadow, right? Of sometimes even going within and being more reclusive, the quarantine, right? All these energies of isolation and separation. But when we talk about the return of the sun and we start to feel the warmth of the sun, it makes us want to expand. It makes us want to connect. It makes us want to open our heart and stretch out and reach out and become more and act on more things and do more things. And so this return of the sun with the summer solstice is such a powerful thing for our consciousness, because it's going to help clear away the darkness. It's going to help clear away the shadows. It's going to help clear away the heaviness, because we've all been working through our shadow this whole time, especially with the quarantine, especially with everything going on with the revolution right now. And so these things have brought up our shadow so that the light can shine onto it and clear it away and help us face it and help us let it go, so we can become new. We can renew our energy and emerge renewed in that way. So I'm super excited for the summer solstice, because I really feel like this is going to be a consciousness awakening that we're going to feel, and we're going to feel some more happiness, some more healing, some more action movement forward. And I do still feel that there is going to be something in June that is going to be pretty shocking or a little bit chaotic. We're going to have to still move through some things as a collective. I really feel that, but ultimately this return of the sun is going to make it a little bit easier for our consciousness to see clearly what we're dealing with, which is going to be great. And with that being said, the return of the sun, like I said, it brings that fire, it brings that heat, it brings that warmth. And Kali is that fire energy. And Kali, goddess Kali, she came through for Channel and Chill last night. And I really don't know a ton about Kali. I need to do some research, but I know that she represents a lot of fire energy. She's the deity that's like, crazy, like freaking out, this really passionate kind of destructive energy, this kind of warlike energy, this powerful, feminine, strong, assertive energy. And what she said was that she represents productive destruction. Productive destruction. And she said that what we've been going through in such a big way this year, and even what we've been kind of feeling happening over years and years leading up to this, has been a productive destruction of things that are not serving us, that are no longer working, that are no longer a part of the new world we're wanting to create. And so she's asking us to embrace the fire, even though it's uncomfortable, even though it's hot, even though it's intense, and it stirs a lot of things up. She wants us to embrace the fire and walk through the fire and become the fire by channeling our own inner fire, our passion, our rage, even sometimes, our energy of intensity, that energy, that fire within us, channeling it into purpose and productivity and passion for what we want to create. So that is really so important from Kali, to really hear her speak on that, especially since we're in a Kali Yuga right now. So powerful. And so I can't wait to post that channeling for all of you to hear, because I think it's going to be so activating. But I want you all to remember that and keep that in mind, and even do your own research about Kali and about the Kali Yuga that we're in, because this is a really big energy that we want to understand as we enter a golden age from this Kali Yuga and we start to step into that 5D. And this is what we've all been prepared for. We've all been prepared to be able to tame our triggers and to meditate and walk through fires, to allow ourselves to be comfortable with the uncomfortable, and to use our intuition to guide us through mystery and what is not seen and what is not known. All of those messages we've talked about so many times in the last couple of years in these readings alone. So this is what we've been prepared for, and it's time to really embody that energy, that groundedness, that resilience, and that strength and warrior-like spirit walking through the fire. She showed me a vision when I was channeling her, that of just a lot of people kind of as silhouettes, like smoky silhouettes. And there was this red smoke and dust in the air, and you couldn't really make out anybody's face. And the silhouettes were kind of darker shadows, but they were walking through, and there was fire, orange fire around them. But they were walking through the smoke and through the red dust, and they didn't seem upset. They didn't seem triggered. They were just kind of in this very meditative walk, just kind of walking forward, untouched by the fire, because they accepted it and they knew it was for a purpose, and they knew they were protected by the light forces within them and outside of them that helped them become the fire and move through it without being touched. This is really powerful vision. All right, everyone. So with that being said, let's get into astrology, and then we'll end with some cards. So the astrology of this week is really, really important to focus on, okay? Now, like I said, I'm going to be hosting that all-day healing event, Shining Light on Revolution, on the summer solstice, June 21st, all day right here on the YouTube channel. And it's going to be about the return of the sun, like I just talked about. And that really is the summer solstice. Now, they always say the summer solstice happens anywhere between the 20th and the 22nd of June. But this one is actually on the 21st, which is great. So we're really going to feel that energy. And there's also a Cancer new moon on the 21st of June. And this is going to be a really powerful energy because it's a solar eclipse new moon. And it's in Cancer. And Cancer is a water sign, an emotional sign, but also an intuitive sign. And it really reminds me of that dolphin energy from the starseed meditation yesterday, because Cancers have this intellect. They have this emotional intellect, especially when they've really awakened to their spiritual maturity. They have this emotional intellect that is very intuitive and really helps them to move through any experience they have. And they do tend to keep things inwardly. They do kind of have some of that telepathic energy where sometimes even Cancers think that you know what they're thinking, but you don't. And so this is a really interesting kind of combination with the card that I pulled from the starseed meditation yesterday and this Cancer new moon at the end of this week. And so we're going to feel a lot of that intuitive, emotional, empathic energy, as well as some emotional intelligence with that as well. And there's going to be a lot of action in this as well, where we're going to feel, because of the summer solstice, because of the return of the sun, and because it's a solar eclipse, we're going to feel a lot of action. We're going to feel a lot of kind of inspiration to move and inspiration to act and motivation to do so. Now, I'm not going to get into all of the Cancer moon characteristics today because it is going to be happening next Sunday. And I really want to just take advantage of being able to provide deep messages about it right there on the day, especially because I'm going to be having one of my favorite astrologist friends, Sabina, coming and joining with me on the weekly reading as a part of the event. And she is going to be really breaking down a lot of the new moon energy, the summer solstice energy, and even more. So I cannot wait to have her a part of that next week. So you guys get to really get a feel for a different voice. I'll still be doing the reading, but she's going to really be adding some of her astrology expertise, which is going to be so great. And then, like I said, I've got several other POC healers and luminaries that are going to be sharing their gifts and expertise that whole day. So it's going to be so, so beautiful. So that's the summer solstice on June 21st, and the Cancer new moon on June 21st, which is also a solar eclipse. And then the other astrological influence of this week is actually on the 18th, on Thursday. And that's when Mercury goes retrograde. Don't freak out. It's going to be okay. I know that people always kind of get a little bit flinchy when we hear Mercury retrograde, but this is going to be okay. It is a Mercury retrograde in Cancer. So I will say that it could stir up some extra emotions and some extra empathic sensitivities to the way people speak to you or what they say to you. So try not to get too offended or take things out of context or create stories around what people say out of assumption. If something rubs you wrong in communication, make sure you ask them about it. What was their intention? And make sure you're clear on that before assuming their communication. So that's going to be a really important thing to know about Mercury retrograde. It's also going to help us become more aligned with our emotional sensitivities and empathic energy and help us to be able to communicate our own emotions more clearly as we work through any shadows or resistances in that, of course. So those are kind of the things that we're going to want to work on during this Mercury retrograde. And it starts on the 18th and it ends on July 12th, okay? And on the same day that Mercury goes retrograde, on June 18th, Mars sextiles Pluto, which means that we're going to feel some endings and completions there. We're also going to be encouraged to let go. And we're also going to be encouraged to act because Mars is an action planet and it's a passion planet. So we're going to even feel more of that energy as well leading up to the summer solstice. And then it is a 9-day on the 18th. So 1 + 8 is 9. And so that's another validation of completion energy. It goes right along with the Pluto energy. Also symbolizes wisdom as well. And then, of course, our month is June, which is a 6 month, and that's all about creation. So we're going to feel this kind of completion of certain creations, and also kind of intuitions on what to let go in regards to creations that aren't working. And the moon also rules Cancer. And so that is going to be a energy that we want to pay attention to for this retrograde, because the Mercury retrograde and the moon, the new moon in Cancer, is going to go really hand in hand, since they're in the same sign and since the moon itself rules Cancer. Really, really powerful influence on the Mercury retrograde. So that moon energy is all about our emotions, our divine feminine energy, our intuition. We're really going to want to take care of ourselves. We really want to nurture ourselves, listen to ourselves as well by journaling and making sure we're processing how we're feeling in any situation. And it's going to help us change how we communicate. It's also going to help us expand in new perspectives as well. So this Mercury retrograde is not going to be something that's going to be super tragic or difficult. It's just going to call us to fix what's broken and to expand in our perspectives and to change how we communicate, and to communicate better and more clearly our emotions and our intuition in that way. And then on the 20th of June, we have Mars sextiling Jupiter, and that is going to really give us a passion for expansion. Jupiter is the expanding planet, and Mars is the action passion planet. So we're really feeling just so much of that action and passion and inspiration for expansion with that day as well. And this is going to be a day on the 20th for joy as well. So letting in joy, going back to that spirit message where we're talking about letting ourselves heal and letting ourselves be happy. So important as well. All right. So with that being said, I've gone through all of the astrological influences and the intuitive influences of this week. I'm going to save any other messages on the summer solstice and new moon in Cancer for next Sunday for this exciting healing event that I'm going to be hosting all day for free right here on this channel. So I can't wait to see you all there. But before we go, I want to, of course, pull some cards to get a summary of all of these amazing messages that we've received. And I want to check in with all of you. So let's see how you're doing. Oh my gosh. Yes. So good to see all of you. Tisha's here. Good to see you. Read about the Kali in a book. You're a goddess. Oh, that resonates so powerful. Oh, thank you so much. It's so good to see you. All right. Everybody's doing good. Everybody's doing good. Okay, cool. All right. Oh, yeah, Linda, you're a Cancer. Nice. When's your birthday, Linda? Drop it in the comments so we can make sure to wish you happy birthday. All right, everybody. So let's go ahead and get ready for our card pull. Let's take a couple deep breaths. Getting centered, relaxing with the exhale. Deep breath in, expanding in the heart center, opening up the heart to receive our messages from Source through the cards as we exhale. And taking another deep breath in, grounding up above into Source. Whoa, a card came through really fast. And exhaling to relax. Yay, we already got our first card of the week. We'll reveal that in a second. That came out of the deck in a hurry. Middle of the week card right there. I'm getting Voyager deck for the end of the week. Whoa. 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 All right. End of the week card there. And then I am being called to pull a new moon summer solstice card. Prep. I'll say a prep summer solstice and new moon card for us to just get a little bit of awareness of what to prep for before Sunday. Okay. Let's see what we have. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Beginning of the week card, Enchantment. This is such a powerful card. This is the card of, can we see it? There it is. Woo, yay. All clear. So this is the beautiful enchantment card. And this is all about magic. This is all about this understanding of magic and letting magic shine, really focusing on the fact that we are creating our reality. And that's a magical experience. And that when we align with light and we align with the power of our light, we truly start to see the magic in the world and our ability to create with that magic, that life force energy in between things like we talked about in the beginning of the reading. So beginning of the week, tapping into our enchantment, okay? Then the middle of the week card, look at him, Archangel Michael, here to protect us, here to let us know that he's keeping us safe. And Archangel Michael doesn't only keep us safe, but he also really activates our willpower and our faith. He helps us to follow through. He helps us to take charge. He helps us to be determined and disciplined in achieving the goals that we set forth. And he also keeps our faith and our belief in our ability to achieve those goals strong. So that's going to be so, so helpful for the middle of the week as well. And then the end of the week from the Voyager deck, we have the Three of Crystals, and this is the creativity card. I know that that's a little hard to see at the top. These cards are kind of bright, but it does say creativity. So this is helping us to really tap into our conscious creative power, that energy of manifestation that we were talking about as a collective when we step into the present moment. Remember, when we're in that present moment, we're harboring that energy of enchantment, and then we're using that to create with, okay? So really telling us such a beautiful story in that week energy, the week-long energy. And then the new moon / summer solstice prep card, I think, is just so beautiful. It is a mother's love. And this card is really telling me that it's Mother Nature really coming in to call us to her, to receive her healing energy, to connect with her, and to be a part of that summer solstice transformation of that return of the sun, allowing ourselves to absorb the light and life force energy of nature, mother's love. And the card itself, and this can be also in your personal life, really connecting to your mom or healing mother wounds that you may have, or really tapping into the inner mother within you and making sure you're nurturing yourself, caring yourself, and giving yourself that mother's love. And we are going to have a lot of that Cancer energy with the new moon and the Mercury retrograde happening. So that energy of nurturance and emotional intuition and moon-like energy is also very connected to the divine feminine and that mothering love as well. So that Cancer influence will also be kind of a mother to us. And the card itself says, a mother's love is reaching out to you at this time and holding you close. She knows how much you miss her and wants to remind you that this special bond of love can never be broken. So really nice prep for the summer solstice and the Cancer new moon. All right, so let's review real quick. Enchantment for the beginning of the week. Then we have Archangel Michael for the middle of the week. And then we have creativity for the end of the week. And then mother's love as a prep for the new moon in Cancer and the summer solstice. So exciting! Yes, yeah, and another, Linda's saying something about her hands too. So hot when I was pulling the cards. Yeah, so I know that a couple of you now have been talking about this hand activation. Jasmine talked about it in the beginning of the reading. We do have those chakras in our hands. So yeah, it makes sense that that could be part of what's activating, because when we activate the chakras in our hands, we're really activating our healing power. That's where we start activating our ability to do more intense levels of Reiki on ourselves and others, where we also are able to work with chi and energy and life force energy around us. That's a really powerful energy. So enjoy that, because there could be a lot of things that you might be called to do with your hands in a spiritual way to bring that energy into the physical more. All right, last thing I want to talk about real quick is the amazing event that I am hosting all day next Sunday. I am really, really excited about it. It's been so on my heart to bring forth something really powerful for the collective with everything going on, from COVID to the revolution we're in now, to the things that we're seeing transform in our systems, in our social structures, and in the world as we move forward through this year. And I think this is going to be something that we're going to continue seeing and needing to collectively join together, address, heal through, and navigate through in a graceful way. And so this event next Sunday on the 21st is the first of, I feel like, many events that we will be continuing to experience together for all of the transformations we're going through. And so this event in particular is called Shining Light on Revolution. It is going to be a wonderful event where I am amplifying and uplifting many POC healers and luminaries from all over the world. I have a sound healing meditation in the morning that we'll open up with. We also have a self-love talk from a beautiful, beautiful luminary in London. We also have an energy cleansing from another intuitive goddess who's just so, so powerful with her work. We're going to have a roundtable discussion about everything going on right now from a spiritual perspective and a social perspective with tons of different voices. We've got a shaman, we've got a spiritual / religious guide, we have an activist, we have an intuitive. It's going to be such a powerful conversation. And then we're also going to have, like we always do, the weekly reading every Sunday at 1:11 p.m. Central Time, same time for that. And then we'll also end with a visualization led by me to help us all activate exactly the new world that we want to see, the change we want to see in the world, and how we can really massively create that with that visualization. And then we'll end with some movement and breath work and a channeled prayer from Lotus Sky, who is just an amazing, amazing channel that I can't wait for you all to experience. So it's going to be a really epic event, and it's for everybody to enjoy. So please, if you feel like you know some people who have been going through it, who have been feeling a lot of the empathic energy and weight of everything going on, who have felt confused, or just wanting to be held, or needing nurturance, or just wanting to feel connected to community, please, please invite them to subscribe to this YouTube channel, tap the bell for notifications, and to join us live on Sunday. The event itself will start at 8 a.m. Pacific time, and it will end sometime around 5 p.m. or 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. So Central Time, that is 10 a.m. Central Time, ending at 7 or 7:30 p.m. Central Time. And then Eastern Time, it would be starting at 11 a.m. and ending at around 8:30 or 8 p.m. Eastern Time, okay? So that gives you a really good idea of what's to come. I will be posting the schedule on the community page of this channel. I'll also be posting a ton about this on my Instagram. So I highly recommend you follow me on Instagram at Readings by Rissa to hear all the updates, to meet some of the women that are going to be hosting this event with me, and to just start getting ready for it, because it's going to be epic. And please invite as many people as you can, because I really just want this energy to ripple out into the world, because I think it's going to be such a powerful, powerful experience for all of us. So I can't wait to bring that forth. I will see you next Sunday for that event. And in the meantime, if you have any questions or anything at all, you can always email me, readingsbyrissa@gmail.com, or follow me at Readings by Rissa on Instagram, and I will have all the details up for you very, very soon with a full schedule and some more info, okay? So I can't wait to see you there. That is going to be so, so good. And where two are gathered. Yes. Systematic mental health, spiritualist, intuitive. Yeah, so if you're somebody who's a facilitator who might want to be a part of future series like this, definitely reach out to me. Email me, readingsbyrissa@gmail.com. I see Truth Epidemic saying some of her gifts there. I would love, love, love for even more people to join for future events. So please reach out to me. I would love to talk to you about that. All right, everybody, I think I've rambled long enough. I love you all so much, and I cannot wait to see you next week for a epic healing event. Make sure to not join at 1:11 p.m. Central Time next week, but to join at 8 a.m. Pacific Time, aka 10 a.m. Central Time next week, okay? Because that's when all of this exciting, juicy goodness event is going to take off. So I cannot wait. I love you all. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you then. Peace.